check that it's all working.
We're up now?
Yeah, we are up now on Twitch.
Oh my
Let me just double check
God.
it.
I expected Twitch to open, but okay.
Yeah, because it usually takes like a couple of minutes for it to recognize that I'm online. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Okay, so I need the chat so I can see the chat.
I'm a fucking ditz. Those lyrics I sent you for Essential DJ Team.
Oh yeah.
I put them in my notepad on my phone and then I copy pasted them to you.
Yeah.
But I'm the fucking cunt sitting here who didn't write them down on paper.
Well, I've got them here. Do you want them?
Oh, that's okay. I was gonna, if we play it, I was just gonna read along and like lip sync to it because that's just the.
Well, I'll write them in the chat when we do that then. Then everyone can sing along to it. Yay!
I've almost got the damn thing cold anyway, so.
Right then, I'm just double checking. We're on. Yes, we are. Hi guys. Hi SJ. Hi Carrie. Can you hear us okay? Just let us know. And also let me know that you can hear this.
Call the truth, start the sirens. Call the truth, for the old bullies with another
Can you
hit.
hear that okay? Hello, Mr. Select. Could you hear that? Yep. Okie dokie. All good in the hood. Right. Well, yeah. Hi, everybody. We are doing a chat today with Klayre Avalon. And we're going to be talking about literally 30 years of rave and dance music, but from two very, very different perspectives. So we've got the perspective of me, which has been in the UK, and then Klayre is from Canada. So her experience is going to have a lot more variety. And even I, when I've been going through the things that we're going to be chatting about today, I've been like, wow, I don't know any of these names, and in a really good way, because it means that I've got so much to learn. So yeah, Klayre, welcome. Yay! So what are we going to be talking about then? Are we going to be discussing some of your favorite things, you know, your favorite tunes from yesteryear and the stuff that has inspired you?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, the tracks that I sent you that we'll be covering today, everything was with intent. Even on my show, when I do that, and all I do is talk about music, I'll feature a mix and go through it.
Yeah, just so everyone knows as well, Klayre's got a show on Instagram. I'm going to put your @ thingy in the chat as you carry on. Yeah, you carry on, sweetheart.
But no, I've always had this knack to not only listen to music, but I mean, that's the easy numbers. But it's a different thing when you feel it. And one theory that I've explained a handful of times when I do my thing is if you're listening to a melody or a bass line or anything of that nature, right? The building blocks of a track or a mix. If it sounds too busy, what you gotta, even in terms of dance and styles of dance, right?
Yeah.
If something is too complicated or you know, not even, you got to look for what's underneath.
Ah, okay, I like that. Yeah, I like that.
And that's the theory I explain stylistically. When you're dancing, you got to find the finer nuances.
That is so true, because that's very true for when you're doing music production as well. This is why you see a lot of people who are prolific. Is that a word? Prolific in one area. Like, say, for example, if they're a hard house producer, you will see those nuances go into a house track, for example, if they make a house track and you know, or breaks, or you know, it's very difficult to come out of those kind of habits. But there are certain defining sounds, patterns, syncopation, all of that wonderful stuff that goes into all of these different genres. So let's get started with our first video. Now it's going to be the Audio Bullies one. Do you want to introduce it and why you want to share it?
I found this when I was living in Ottawa a number of years ago. This is the Audio Bullies track, right?
Yeah,
This is Bang Bang, originally done by Nancy Sinatra 102 years ago.
is that
It's
how
the
old it was?
It was like back in the 60s or something.
Fuck.
And her version of it, it's almost in a crooner style.
obviously a
No.
little bit of processing or whatever, but they didn't try to glitch it up. They didn't try to like make it something it isn't, and it's very true to the original. SJ's just put in the chat as well. That was epic. Wouldn't usually listen to anything 60s messed with though. Yeah, exactly. I think it stayed true to the and respectful to the authenticity of the original.
And
So
countering the audio bullies, I forget when it was released, maybe early this year, late last year, whenever the fuck it was. But out of Italy, Deborah DeLuca, she got her hands on this track.
yeah, we have a video of that as well, don't we?
Absolute magic. She took that to like levels that I couldn't imagine.
Well, I think that it is probably good that we watch that one now because it is connected to it. I think let me just have a double check of which one's which. Let's have a little look. Which one is this one? Is that it?
It might be. I'm trying to remember what the visual looks like. It might be another one. Oh, that's T78 Fisto.
Oh, it is because I recognize it because I played that song. Okay, so we've got that one to come. Let me just see if it is this one because it's not giving me. It's not telling me what they are. Is it this one?
That's the 7th, David Tomasi.
Okie dokie. So it's not that one. Hide on stream. Show on stream. Let's see if it's this one. There we go. Oh no, that's a Bonnie and Clyde one.
That's Nico Vega.
Okay, so that's that one. It's a good job you know what you're doing.
That's magic, that song. Oh my God.
So we've got quite a few to get through.
There we go.
Here we go. Cool.
Check this the fuck out. Her use of the vocal is just magic.
Oh, cool.
Bang, 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 bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.
She's building here,
Yeah.
but then everything goes quiet.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.
There we go.
I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white. He would always win the fight. Bang, bang. He shot me down. Bang, bang. I hit the ground. Bang, bang. That awful sound. Bang, bang. My baby shot me. Bang, 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 bang.
Subtlety,
Yes.
but so impactful.
Absolutely.
Bang, bang, bang. I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white. He would always win the fight. Bang, bang, he shot me down. Bang, bang, I hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, my baby shot me.
This is quintessential Deborah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I really like that. I think that had some moments to it as well. It is again paying homage to the original in a really cool way. What
Yeah.
is it that you like about that?
Same things as the Audio Abilities track, but much like when she did her version of Radio Gaga by Queen, I can take Deborah or leave her.
Mm-hmm.
But my belief is, like in terms of a remix, I mean, my fuck, she can wreck a remix. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable. It just, I mean, we both just heard it. It's for my money, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, I like it. I like like you say, it's minimal. It's minimalistic. It's got a lot of
But still peak hour if you want it to
drama.
be.
Yeah. It's got a drama. It puts you in a frame of mind. It's not just a track, it's putting you. It's kind of paying homage to the lyrics themselves,
Almost
and
ethereal.
yes, definitely. So
That's what
yeah,
grabbed
those
me
are
about it.
two different takes there of that original by Nancy Sinatra, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is the next one? We've got there was another remix, wasn't there?
Yeah, the Nico Vega one,
The Nico one.
the rock one. What Deborah's track also does for me is it growing up on Canada's East Coast and having gotten into the rave scene back home, um, people like Deborah and on through the list of people that have been exposed to all these years, uh, what tracks like that and what the music that people like Deborah do, um, it it shows me a world that I wasn't exposed to, that I didn't have access to. Because I mean, in my home, on PEI, we had we had three music stores, and I worked at one of them.
Wow. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
that were of any good, right?
Yeah.
And we only had we had as much access as those stores decided to give us.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, like I just said, stuff like this gives me access to a world that just fascinates the fuck out of me. I'm like, well, I wonder where we would be musically today if stuff like that had existed in the 90s, is what goes through my
I
head.
think it did for its time frame, because it was all reliant on the equipment that was available at the time. And with all things, natural evolution of sound, of rave music and rave culture. I mean, the two are synonymous. They run parallel with each other. That was all a natural progression. So it literally wouldn't have happened earlier than when it did. But in its time, it would have felt the same. It would have felt very much on the cusp of something new and a new discovery. They had that in the 70s. They had that in the 50s.
Oh, hell yeah.
They had that in the 20s. You know, every single generation has their own take on music, and that makes sense because it's a lot of it is down to rebellion from parents, from grandparents, and
Society.
absolutely from society. There's always an economic, political standpoint to a lot of music varieties and music natural evolution. The only one that was never a natural evolution but still is kind of is modern day EDM. That's the only that was the only one that was kind of made for a specific commercial reason.
Oh, very.
However, it's still a genre and still organic in a certain way. It was just not organic for the usual reasons of political, social, economical, spiritual, geographically, you know, religious wise. There's so many reasons why music has evolved and what music means to people on a worldwide scale. from rave music from your perspective?
Well, if I go back to the day, like I mentioned, those 3 music stores back home, despite those, I grew like when I was in the scene, it was happy hardcore that I got into. It was UK hard house. It was trance. It was all this shit going on all at the same time, and I had it all. Anabolic Frolic from here in Toronto with the Happy to Be Hardcore series.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
Slipmat, who you might know of.
Yeah, I know Slipmat. He's a good friend
Yeah,
of mine.
he's a vet of the scene. Um, and it's funny because even though I knew who the I guess you could say the more well-known people were, um, my friend Dan, who's just breaking into the techno scene in terms of DJing and production and stuff, um, I'd have my headphones on when we'd be hanging out or meet up or something, and he'd always go, "What the fuck are you listening to? Where did you find that?" So I went from all the styles I just mentioned to um, David Emerson, going back to my Ottawa days, and Sasha and Digweed, who I can take or leave because I don't like prog. Um, Fuck prog house. Oh my god. Um,
Really?
oh no. My description of prog house is if dance music had a waiting room. Fuck,
Girl,
fuck me.
that's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about progressive house, the old school terminology. They did try, didn't they, a few years ago? They tried to revamp the word progressive house, and it started on Beatport. Actually, they've renamed it Big Room now, I think. But
Oh really?
yeah, they've called it Big Room now. But everyone was up in arms because progressive house was Sasha and Digweed, that kind of style.
Mm.
And then when EDM came out, EDM tried to then coin the same phrase, progressive house, but it was a completely different style of music. It is like the big room EDM stuff that we know, that 16 bars and something happens and then a drum roll and then a woo and a big snare with a big reverb tail on it, that stuff. And they tried to say that was progressive house, and everyone was like, no, it's not. You can't use that phrase. But I mean, I have a space for progressive house in my heart.
Same.
But it was always the beginning of the night that I heard progressive house and progressive trance. So it would have always been the warm-up DJs. So it always feels like you need to have something after that. Otherwise, it's like getting to a sneeze, but not actually sneezing.
I've said the same thing in different words. It's like a build up to nothing.
Yes, exactly.
But now
Yeah.
that said, the interesting thing is, for over here, for example, like take New York. I, as much as I say I don't like progressive house, and I've said the same thing 100 times about house in general.
Mm.
It's not that I don't like house or prog. I'm just clinically selective about it.
Yes.
And when I say that, what I mean is the heavy hitters in New York, like Frankie Knuckles and all these guys, and the really subdued kind of, in my opinion, subdued um, the New York scene. But then someone who was in the New York scene, not a U.S. native, but she was there, DJ Lula.
Mm.
She could be coined as prog house, and I love
Yeah.
everything she does.
I
She's
think
got
it's the
she
way that you play it as well. I mean, there's energetic stuff. There's melodic. I think if it's interesting and melodic and not too up its own arse, then it's gonna be palatable at the end of the day. And someone's just had a good question actually. That I think I should be able to show on the stream. How would you describe Tony DeVito's style? He had some super long tracks, but hard and fast, great builds. R.I.P. You're aware of Tony DeVito, aren't you, Claire?
enough to know his name.
Yeah, Tony DeVito, for those of you who don't know, was a pioneer of hard house back in the day from Birmingham, not far, like literally 5 miles. He grew up 5 miles where I grew up as well, but I never actually got to meet him. He died just before I came into the scene, like literally just before. Strangely, he died on my birthday, 2nd of July, so I'll
Oh,
always remember that. Yeah, it's very, very strange. I've always had a connection to him, and I do have a picture in my studio of him from his dad Ray, who I've met at a weekender a very long time ago. But yeah, I mean, I would describe Tony's style as being kind of progressive hard house, in the
I've never
sense.
heard that term before.
Yeah, well, we don't really use it, but because it was just hard house. But if you listen to Tony DeVito's music, it had the build, it
Yeah.
always built on itself. Then there were drops out, and a lot of it was down to limitations from the equipment that they used to use back in the day. So Simon Parks, who's also a friend of mine, he used to engineer all of Tony DeVito's stuff. And they used to use what's called master and slave hardware. That not a lot of software. If they did, it was on like an Atari or possibly Cubase, and things like that. And we're going back to the time where there was like Akai S3000 samplers, which could only sample like 2 seconds of sound. 8-track recordings on DAT, which was you only get 8 tracks. That's why it's called 8 tracks. That you had to be very, very sure of all the sounds that you'd have in there. So a lot of the music in this day and age sounds quite stripped back, and that was because they weren't able to have all these special booms and rises and effects and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, I would describe Tony DeVito's style as being original hard house, but I guess you could call it kind of progressive because it did build and then it would take away from itself. Like if you listen to the breakdowns in Tony DeVito's tracks, they go down to just like the kick and maybe a percussion hit, something like that.
Right.
One in my head right now is Tony DeVito, I Don't Care, that had those kind of breakdowns in there. But yeah, that's a really, really good question. Yeah, Tony DeVito was very ahead of his time, and a lot of that was down to his amazing relationship with Simon Parks, who engineered a lot of his music there. So yeah. Yeah,
Before
The
we
Dawn was a great tune as well. Yeah, carry on, Claire.
before we went to air, I was mentioning that throughout today's conversation, there will be gaps in this cultural conversation simply because of where we live, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I said when you brought up Tony's name that I only know enough about him, like I don't know anything about him beyond his name.
Well, let's play one of his songs because I think people would like to hear
Sure.
one of his tunes. I'm going to play I Don't Care. I Don't Care was one of his. It's just such a cool tune. It really is. Let me just find it on.
I did want to pick your brain about something, but we'll do that after the track.
Yeah, sure. Okie dokie. Let's check. Yeah, that one will do. I'm just gonna.
I was so happy last week. You were streaming on Twitch, and I mentioned Miss Moneypennies, and I was
yeah. Did anyone else go to Miss Moneypennies in the chat?
I was fucking elated to find out that I'm not like oh my God, these are my people. They know what Miss Moneypennies is.
Yeah. I didn't go, but I had a friend who used to be basically what used to happen at Miss Moneypennies was because it was so busy. They had people who would literally look you up and down in the queue for Miss Moneypennies and say whether or not you were deemed right to come into the club. Like
Sounds
that's
like
the
New
way
York.
that it was. Yeah, it was like you're not coming in, you can come in, that kind
Would
of
I
thing.
would I be correct in saying, because I've read a little bit about Moneypennies since that stream, would I be correct if I said that Miss Moneypenny's is in the same vein as God's Kitchen. It's not so much an event, but a brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, here we go. We've got I Don't Care, Tony DeVito. As you can see here, the credits there are Tony DeVito and Simon Parks. And what year was
I know Parks' name. I've seen the name.
He's ace. I speak to him all the time on Facebook. He's a proper geek.
Wow. Right. This is so fucking cool. Oh my god. Fuck yeah. Oh, this is no fuck. See right here. To the point. Driving.
I Don't Care. What a tune that is. And yeah, it was very, that sound, it was very,
When was that released?
oh, guys, when would that been released? Let me just have a little look on 1996, that was. So,
From the archives.
yeah, like that was the turning point from hard house being what was called handbag house. It was called handbag house, and then it began to speed up, and it began to be music to be played in clubs where people were taking a lot of drugs, and it had to be repetitive. It's
Those
almost
heathens.
techno in its if you know what I mean. It's fair because it's so repetitive and builds, and it has that momentum. It builds on itself, and that is what you need when it comes to techno or any kind of music from the culture of clubbing and rave. Is it has to be hypnotic, which is where we get that, which is why our parents used to be like, oh, has a fucking needle got stuck?
Well, when I listen to a track like that, it brings up two things for me.
Mm-hmm.
One, first and foremost, even being a resident of Canada, when I listen to a track like that, it brings me it brings me back to the M25 parties.
Mm.
It's just a certain sound, and we talk about pockets of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it brings me, right or wrong.
Yeah. No, it's
For like,
true. There were a lot of illegal raves back in the day when we were allowed to have them. I think the police. I mean, I remember I went to them right at the very tail end of
you
when they
didn't.
were allowed. Yeah, I managed to go to a few. We used to have one in Stoke-on-Trent called Rave in a Cave,
Oh,
where it
don't
was
talk to me about
literally.
Stoke.
It was literally a rave in a cave. And I remember once the police were there, but they couldn't do anything about it. And then there was like a police helicopter circling above, and
What?
it was just so much fun. It really was. But yeah, I mean, we got to do all of that before everything got commercial, and
Very.
it was a good time for music. It really was, along with the acid house scene.
Hmm.
All of that. We wouldn't have hard house or acid house if we didn't have techno, if we didn't have house, if we didn't have the Detroit scene and
Oh,
Chicago. There would be none of it. So we owe a lot really to our friends across the pond, where you guys are. So Beach
that's what I was.
Cave, yes, Beach Cave. That someone said about it in the chat. Beach Caves, yeah, that was where it was. You just reminded me. Um, so yeah, where are we now with yours? So
That's what
we've
I was going to
got.
ask you too. I'm all about origins of music,
Hmm.
and recently we watched a documentary from a series called Trash Theory, and it was the history of goth,
Okay.
and it was called Before Bauhaus.
Okay.
And with that in mind, I mentioned a second ago that I wanted to pick your brain on something.
Mm-hmm.
Where, how was Hard House formed?
Okay. Hard House comes from the gay scene.
Really?
Yeah. It's a completely gay thing, which I don't know if many people know about it. Really, it was Trade was one of the biggest hard house scenes. Like I was saying, it was called Handbag House, which in itself sounds kind of gay. Handbag house. So it originated from that. That it was a direct musical movement from the gay scene for that pumping sound that everyone fall to the floor, and the drug scene that went with it. That's where the faster beats and stuff then began to separate its club scene from the scene of house drum and bass, speed garage, because all of that kind of went in its direction, and then we had our direction. But yeah, and Heaven, yeah, it was a very very gay thing. Hard house. Most of the most prolific hard house DJs and producers are all gay. They really are. They're all gay. I mean, you've got Andy Farley, we've got Ian
Andy,
M,
yeah.
we've got Tony DeVee, Nick Denton. I'm struggling to think of ones which are straight.
Irene.
But yeah, it's a very, very gay scene. It really is. But yeah, that's how it started. From my understanding, there is definitely more to it. And then there were companies or brands such as Tidy, which started to pioneer the hard house sound around the world. You know, Tidy was the biggest label, the biggest hard house label, biggest hard dance label at its time, in its peak.
What about Hoochie Tunes? I've been leading up to today. I was wondering about Hoochie Tunes. Is that you guys, or is
Huge
that North
Tunes.
America?
HOOJ, Huge Tunes.
Oh, it's it's not Hoochie Tunes.
No, it's pronounced huge tunes. I think it is anyway. HOOJ, you mean?
Oh,
Is
then
that how you spell
the person who told me that's a fucking idiot. Then.
Well, I might be
Okay.
wrong, but I always presumed it was Huge Tunes, but
I
it's
had
just
it.
spelled wrong.
I had it called as I had it referred to me as Hoochie Tunes.
Who is okay? How do you spell it?
Hoochie, and then Tunes as in CHOONS. Because the guy who was telling me about it used to he was a hired dance DJ in Pensacola, Florida.
How do you spell it again? Hooch. How do you spell Hoochie?
So Hoochie, HOOCHIE.
CHIE, yeah.
And then Tunes, CHOONS.
Let me just have a look online now. I've never heard of that label.
Because the only labels I know of are Tidy and Hoochie Tunes.
I can't find anything on.
That's funny. It you know what? It could be huge, like you're saying.
Yeah, I think it might be Huge Tunes, because Huge Tunes was a big label for what would now be called hard house. Like really massively. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, you got Red Jerry, Hyperlogic was Only Me. That was Huge Tunes. Let's play that one actually, because this one goes in nicely to our talk around Tidy, because Tidy then re-released this track. This track actually came out in 1995. So how long ago was that?
I was in grade 11.
Were you in grade 11?
Ish, yeah.
I was very, very young. Very young. I was born in 1982, so I was 13.
I'm 78.
You're 19. together, we have, and this is a really, really interesting thing to talk about because a lot of people may not be aware of this, but the origins of drum and bass are actually from a well-known break called Amen Brother from the Winstons. Now, if I just play at you very quickly, then you'll see where, and this link, this piece of music that you're about to hear, basically this break, and it's literally just a break in this tune, it defined an entire generation and still does to this day. And this is the Amen break. So unless you're, you know, a producer and or have gone into this kind of thing, you might not be aware of this. And it's so amazing how you can see how this one break is still used today in all kinds of music. I'll just play it now instead of wittering on about it.
Good.
So at 1 minute 26, you'll hear the definitive loop, the break.
Oh, wow.
Recognize that? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Amen break. And that little break there in this whole tune from Amen Brother, that was the entire basis of drum and bass Drunk Jungle. And that was used over and over and over again and put into a sampler, made into little hits, replayed in different orders, but you will always hear that. That is like the definitive sound. How cool is that? And this is from the year 1969.
Oy.
That track was made in 1969. So it just goes to show, really, doesn't it? Like, and that defined an entire genre. And the sad thing is, the guys who made that didn't get any of the money.
Oh, no.
No, nothing, because back then we didn't have copyright laws. So it was a very different time back then. But it was also cool in a sense because you could just remix anything you wanted. But obviously things are a lot different now.
That's almost swang. Reminds me of Parav Stellar and what he does.
Yeah, it is. It's as Martin has said in the chat there, it feels like cheesy Saturday night 80s game show music. Anyway, let's get back to what we were looking at with your stuff. We have got 3 more videos that I want you to share with us before I have to go and get ready for my stream later on tonight. Now, this one, which one's this?
That's the 7th.
So
David Temesi out of Hungary.
Okay, so why do you want us to listen to this one, babe?
This is 20th century poet Attila Joseph, his poem called The Seventh. This is all spoken word by someone called Mr. A. He's in the video himself. And I don't know who Mr. A is. That's the only name that Temesi provides us with.
Yeah.
It's just if you want to go back to Sinatra and Bang Bang, when we listen to this is an even more this is a darker track than Bang Bang, but holy fuck, this is just majestic.
Right, then let's have a little
When I hear stuff like this, I think, how did you think this up?
let's have a listen.
This is haunting. There's Mr. A. My favorite card. Coming up. Forgetting how long these are.
Wow, that was crazy.
Right?
Yeah, that was really intense.
That's deep.
Yeah, it was really deep, and I liked it. I'm going to get that to play in my techno sets. I feel quite inspired by that. I find that quite and it, like a few people said in the chat, I should have done my little horn to that, but I don't have my horn right now. But yeah, I loved listening to that. I really did.
I think it was Charlotte DeWitt during one of her awakening sets for like what last year maybe or 2019. She played that, and the crowd went absolutely bananas.
I'm not surprised at all.
And that was during the day.
Yeah.
Like you got the tits to drop that during the day. Fuck off. Oh.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And again, a perfect example of old, and I mean, this is poetry. This isn't Sinatra. This is turning a piece of literature into what has come to be quite an influential track.
I love that. It's almost, well, it's timeless, and it allows that poem to live on through generations and never to be lost. And there's something very beautiful in that.
Yeah.
So
and
go on.
And no, just in terms of living on, I'm the person sitting back going, okay, Temesi wrote this, but in terms of longevity, will the seventh, what's this, 2021? Will the scene, will our global family see this track through, like, if it sees lifetimes, right? How many? Like, who's going to find out about this track and appreciate it for what it is?
We all do, because if you care about music, you will do that naturally. Like, a good idea is a good idea is a good idea. So
well,
what happens? What happens is I guess it's kind of like our Bible. You know, it's kind of like our ooh, you're getting a bit hot, darling. I love how you got hair under your hair. Yeah, I honestly think that people will want to know where something originates from. And do you know what? The great thing these days is we have something called whosampled.com. So anything that you like in terms of a song, you can just literally go into Who Sampled and put in the name of the track, and it will give you the synopsis of where that track actually comes from and where all of the samples are from. It's so cool that can actually happen now. So it's more possible than ever that these kinds of tunes will never get lost. And also through talking about it, you know, this is the philosophy of music that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we've got 2 more tunes now. We had something to do with Ziggy Stardust, didn't we? What was that? Didn't you say you had something you wanted to talk about the creation of Ziggy Stardust?
Oh, just what I realized was through that documentary, in terms of time, like go back to the days when Bowie was big.
Mm-hmm.
What that doc explained was putting Ziggy Stardust on the map.
Mm.
And for Bowie himself, it turned out to have been a bit of a struggle until Stardust was born.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
No.
And that to say, when you watch, and it's what it's an hour long, rough. And what I took from it was relating it to dance culture and even like glam rock and all that kind of stuff. By today's standards, Ziggy Stardust is like, okay, next.
Mm.
But for the time, he was like, who the fuck is this?
Mm.
And that's why it's really cool. Because when you look at the birth of Ziggy Stardust, it's nothing spectacular. But it was for then.
Yeah, and I guess as well, it's a bit like well-known artists of their time, like Monet or Da Vinci. You know, they weren't really revered at the time, kind of, but they are now. I mean, I honestly think that Ziggy Stardust and David Bowie are seen in a great light. I really do. I think even since, probably more so since he died. Same with Prince. You know, I honestly do. I think,
yeah.
and even Amy Winehouse, you know, like
Oh,
there's
Amy.
something about, yeah, good old Amy. I honestly think there is something about that fact that they are now not here anymore that kind of makes us think, oh, I want to know what they were. You know, we can be quite spoiled with our music, you know, even with Banksy, for example. All art has these people that we don't really appreciate till they're gone, or until years later down the line when we've got a bit of perspective, and then we look back and we go, God, that was before its time. You know,
That's
one
it.
day they're going to say that about us, darling. They were so before their time. They were David Bowies of their generation, those two. One day aliens are going to find these videos. I'm going to keep them in a time capsule. I've got an SSD that I'm going to stick in a safe, a bomb-proof safe, with all of these videos on. And one day people are going to watch them back and be like, what the fuck? What are they doing? But yeah, so that is a documentary that you've watched recently then.
One of many.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, the next one that we've got here, what is this one? This is the T78, isn't it?
That's Fisto. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Let's have a listen to this because I actually play this tune. I'm going to just skip it along a little bit so we can get both of these things in before I have to go and see to the kids and get ready for my next stream. This is an absolute tune, guys. This really is.
I know the track, so I'm going to take a pee break if that's okay.
Yeah, you carry on.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, no worries.
What's wrong? You don't like it?
I've got that one myself. I play that one a lot. What I love most about it is the old school rave stabs.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's so synonymous with rave music, those chord stabs. I mean, and I can talk you through the way that you make those. What used to happen was you take a Korg M1, for example, and you would literally play a chord on your Korg M1 and sample that chord. So you'd play like a minor chord, maybe with an extended note on there for the bass. And then you would take that recording of that chord stab, and then you would take the audio from it and then re-enter it into a sampler like the Akai sampler. And then you would play it up and down the keyboard. So it was the same sound, the same audio sound, but for each note down and up from the root note, it would go down in pitch as well. And that's where we get that very authentic and true to that era sound through doing that, because of the limitations at the time, and creativity comes from limitation, or limitation breeds creativity, should I say. That's a better way to put it. So yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Oh man, and the sister track to this, or I shouldn't say sister, but I guess the original track is from Terry and Rodan or something. This is T78's rework of it.
Okay, cool.
I prefer this one.
Yeah, I love T78. Anything T78 touches right now is like, I'm buying it. I've been buying literally everything. Literally everything. He can't do any wrong in my eyes right now.
If you like T78, you might like Remco Beekwilder out of Holland.
How do I spell that? Say it again.
So Remco, Remco.
Yeah.
Beekwilder, Beek.
Yeah.
Wilder, Wilder. He owns Emerald Records.
I think I might already know who he is. I think I might have some of his stuff. I'm not sure.
He's a sweetheart. I've spoken to him on Instagram.
Oh, isn't it lovely when people are forthcoming and will speak to fans?
He's a family man.
I don't do that. Fuck all of you.
Right?
I need my now. Remco.
Your fuck off there a second ago reminded me of how I was going to open today. But I didn't do it because my voice isn't there.
Oh, are you going to do a Lily Savage?
Maybe.
I know you so well. Brilliant. Oh, yeah, I'm going to look out for him if I haven't already got, no, I haven't got any of his stuff, so I must be thinking of someone else. So I'm going to start having a little look at his stuff.
He's good.
But yeah, it seems it. So what is the last tune that you've got to show us here?
What have we got?
Let's have a quick look. We have got... What is this one?
Oh, the Mod Wheel.
Yeah, what is this? Do you want to just give us a bit of an intro to it before we play it?
I found this on a compilation CD.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone in the fucking chat is old enough to know what a CD is. I found this by accident, and it's been in my collection ever since. This is I talk about this on my show. This is an exercise in much like the beat goes, or Fisto rather.
Mm-hmm.
This is an exercise in simplicity, but at the same time impactfulness.
Okay. And
we'll hear that during it'll come screaming through when you play the track.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Bare bones. What you're hearing now is all it is, with a few peaks and valleys.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there's the roll. In a second, we'll hear the wah 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 wah. There it comes. Ha ha ha. And then it closes off with straight percussion.
Oh, that's so nice.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. On a couple of levels. One, I love that for playing that. I'm definitely going to get that after this this live stream for my techno sets. I'm very inspired by the entire talk, really. But the second thing as well is for samples in the studio. That's going to be perfect. You know, it's and again, like this kind of music used to pass me by because I would have skipped through it. I wouldn't have got it. And you have to listen to it through. You have to listen to it properly, you know. But yeah, thank you, Gemini Shelley, for the for that, saying great tracks today, you two. Yeah, I've massively enjoyed this and I feel very inspired.
Oh, Shelley.
Yeah. She's in the chat right now. How you doing, babes?
She showed up.
Yeah. I was told that you'd be here, and you are. It's someone just said there, this layering reminds me of Jam and Spoon. Yeah, again, it is very, very symptomatic of the hardware and software available at the time. You know, this is where all of these textures and layers come from.
Makes me think of Gary Beck and Christian Varela.
Who are they?
Christian Varela's out of Spain.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really lauded as a DJ so much as he is a composer.
Oh, okay.
He grew up in a musical family. He's been playing in clubs since he was 15.
Wow.
He's played Creamfields a few years back. Him and John Rundell were back to back. They followed each other.
I know John.
Yeah, John's a sweetheart.
Yeah, he is. He's lovely. I know him from back in the Hard House days. Yeah, me and John go way back. Oh, that's cool.
Every now and then I'll pop in on John and say, "How you doing, mate?"
Yay! Oh, that's cool. I think he looked after Carl Cox's label for a while, or he might still be. I'm not sure.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I'm sure he was. When I saw him in Ibiza many years ago, he was. I mean, he's always done amazing techno anyway.
Mm,
but yeah, he's amazing. Oh, that's so cool. It's been so eye-opening, all of this, Claire. It really has. And I can see from the comments that everyone has had a really good time here as well.
Oh, that's nice.
It's really, honestly, it really has, because my techno knowledge has been sporadic, you know, and it's so nice to now begin to connect the dots of my own interest and love for techno as well. So I'm really, really enjoying this. I'd love to do another one of these with you in a couple of months' time.
Well, I'll pencil you in.
Yeah. Honestly, because I've really found this very eye-opening, and yeah, you have made me want to go off on tangents as well with this, and I think between the two of us we can have a good setup here, and I've really, really enjoyed it. It's been so much fun.
Well, if you want to do it again, there's plenty more where today's tracks came from.
Oh, absolutely. I can completely imagine it. You know, I'm taking notes all the way through this. So, yeah. And again, thank you all of you for being here as well. Unfortunately, I have to go and see to my children now and get ready for my next live stream in a little while. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested.
Oh, are you a DJ?
Well, yeah, I am. Yeah.
I heard a rumor.
Yeah, I've been doing it for about 2 weeks now. I'm getting there. I can count to 4. So I'm fine. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a bit of a techno set now tonight.
Well, one day with hard work and proper diet and exercise, you'll become a household name.
Oh, I hope so. Let's see what happens. K&B just put in the chat there, don't believe the hype. Fuck you!
Oh, Public Enemy.
Oh, well, thank you so much, my darling. I really appreciate everything you've done here and what you've put together for us. And yeah, let's get another one done for in a couple of months' time.
For sure.
And we'll meet here again. And I think this is a perfect time as well on a Saturday to do this as well. So yeah, well, thank you very much, and thank you guys as well for being here. Klayre, just stay there where you are while I just sign off online. I'll say goodbye to you properly afterwards as well. So yeah, guys, I will see you all in about an hour's time. So that's in 2 hours' time. Because I'm always late. Yeah, I'm going to do techno later. So it's a techno notice.
Fucking raver.
So yeah, guys, I'll see you later. Love you.